Well, it is another beautiful day out today. We had a really busy day yesterday with the Minnesota Zoo, and so now it is time for a Netflix Roulette, which I love to do on Sundays. Gives me some time to get some other things done. And look at this grass. We have some dandelions popping up. It is definitely spring if you see dandelions. So I think we are out of the woods with winter. Well, hello there, and welcome to another beautiful day for a Netflix Roulette here on Tommy Travels the Second. And so I've got the windows open, the sun is shining in, I'm feeling a cool little breeze. It is a wonderful spring day here. I could get some stuff done today, and I get to talk about my movie that I watched on Netflix. I wanted to do a movie that was a little bit newer than The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, which I did last week. It had been out for about a year or so a lot of people have already seen it. And so this week I wanted to do something newer that's just come out recently, and that is called Wine Country, starring Tina Fey and Amy Poehler and a bunch of Saturday Night Live people. And so this should be really fun. If you are brand new to this channel, go ahead and hit subscribe so you don't miss out on a thing, and I will see you right after this. So when I came across this movie on Netflix, I was pretty excited to click on it because it contains like a murderer's row of comedians from Saturday Night Live. Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Rachel Dratch, Maya Rudolph, Anna Gasteyer. I mean, how can you go wrong with a movie like that? So I thought for sure this is going to be a hilarious movie and score a quite high score on a scale of Eat, Pray, Love to 10. And so I happily clicked on the movie and started watching it. And about 5 minutes into it, I realized, uh-oh, they're going to try to redo Bridesmaids here. Except instead of a wedding, it's going to be a 50th birthday party centering around Rachel Dratch, who's turning 50. And Amy Poehler is organizing the whole thing, and she is like Monica from Friends, basically, when it comes to organizing. Everything has to be on an agenda, and a certain plan has to be followed at all times, and she's trying to get everyone to go on this plan. And so you can already tell, okay, so they're trying to redo Bridesmaids here, and it's going to fall short, because Bridesmaids, it was just magical. Everything came together. Nothing was really forced about it because it's a wedding, for crying out loud. And we all understand the challenges and the things that come along with weddings because we go to them quite often. We don't always tour wine country on a birthday party. And so they have to kind of force in some challenges there, and that's where everything kind of goes wrong with this movie. And they do make an attempt to make the movie funny. They do, but the attempts fall a little bit short. Like when they get out to this beautiful place in wine country, some awesome scenery, a beautiful place that they rented out with a pool and all sorts of amenities. They decide to go out to the bar the first night. They get a little crazy, but not crazy in the way that a real group of women would. Sloppy drunk and throwing up and all that kind of stuff. It's more of a Hollywood kind of a crazy, where it's a little bit forced and a little bit like, hey, some writers came up with this idea and thought it would be funny, so let's interject that into this scene kind of good time that they had. And then they come back home, and what do they wind up doing? They have separating out in different groups. A couple of them are in a hot tub talking about their lives and adult serious types of situations. Not funny. And so when the comedy is kind of forced and then they have to balance that out with the serious side, the comedy has to be really funny. The serious side is just always serious, and it's just a little much for something that's supposed to be a remake of Bridesmaids, which it's not even supposed to be, but because Bridesmaids happened, that's what you compare it to, because Maya Rudolph was in Bridesmaids, and it's the same people that kind of made the Bridesmaid movies, so that's where you compare this movie to, and it just falls flat. The other thing that was distracting about this movie is all of the characters had their little quirks, so you can identify with who they are. Like Amy Poehler, we already mentioned, she's the one that's directing everything, and everything has to be a certain way and go according to a certain plan. Well, there's other ones like that too. Like Anna Gasteyer plays a character who can't pull away from work. She's always on her phone like, hey, do this, and she's speaking out of text, so she's using the punctuation marks. What are you doing? Question mark, space, capital. And that's entertaining for about a half a second. But every time you see Anna Gasteyer, then she's on her phone trying to talk with her agents about doing some sort of job coming up and whether she should take it or not. And it's a little annoying because then you've got Amy Poehler doing, hey, everybody, let's do this. And then Anna Gasteyer talking to her people at work. And then you've got Rachel Dratch, whose birthday it is. And she's come up with this thing where she thinks that let me offer you some feedback is a much better way to go instead of starting an argument with somebody. And so every time she talks just about it's like, may I offer you some feedback? And all of them have these little things like that, and they just drive them into the ground to try to build their character as to who they are. And it just gets a little messy and annoying after a while. And here's the other thing that threw me too. Amy Poehler's the one that's setting up this whole birthday party, and they finally get to the main thing that she's trying to do. All of them met when they were much younger and working at a pizza parlor. That's how they all got to be friends. And they've all stayed in contact through the years. And what Amy Poehler did was she rented out this place. She brought in the menu board from the old pizza place and all these different things. She basically set it up so it looked like the old pizza parlor that they worked at. Which, come on. In real life, would that ever happen? Would somebody think of doing that? They had this picture taken when they were all younger that they've all have still for some reason of all of them together in this pizza parlor with the tables, with the checkered tablecloth and the pizza trays and the pizza in front of them and everything. And so basically she set it up so they could recreate that picture. And she went way overboard, like Hollywood overboard on doing it. And that's the problem because you know what? Maybe they would recreate that picture in real life if somebody was setting up a 50th birthday party for their friends, but I guarantee you they wouldn't go through the expense that whatever she did in this movie. No way. And so that threw me out. It's like, come on, would somebody really do that in real life, go through all of that trouble when they're already taking them to wine country in this beautiful place? And just, I didn't like it. And the biggest problem with this movie is something I've already touched on, and that's if the funny parts fall a little flat, the serious parts seem even more serious than they should be. So it winds up being, oh, not that funny, oh, really serious, oh, lots of arguing and crying, and then at the end it somehow all works out because they all rolled down a hill together. Nothing about this movie really worked. There might be a few funny parts in the movie that are worth watching, and I do like the characters in this movie. That's why it does get some points on a scale of Eat, Pray, Love to 10, but I was not impressed. So this movie does get a 4 on a scale of Eat, Pray, Love to 10. If you have nothing else going on and you want to watch a movie, it's on Netflix. And if you really like those characters, then go ahead and give it a try. Maybe you'll like it a little bit better than I did, but I think this movie just kind of fell apart for me, and I was not impressed. Well, you guys, this has been another successful Netflix Roulette here on Tommy Travels the Second, and we covered the movie Wine Country with Amy Poehler, Tina Fey, and whole cast of Saturday Night Live, basically, all the females anyway, and it was not that great. Go ahead and watch it if you want to, but Don't go out of your way to see it. And if you guys liked what you saw here today, go ahead and hit like on my YouTube channel. While you're at it, go ahead and hit subscribe and the little bell notification next to it so you can be the first to know when a new adventure comes out. Thank you guys so much for the support that you've given me so far. And until next time, I hope to catch you on the flip side.